Cress is from Mexico. Often that's the end story of an immigrant worker. They work at construction sites, restaurants, grocery stores, or anywhere you need a hand. They have all come here to seek better lives, to pursue that American dream. But they are all different, their lives as diverse and rich as we can imagine any of our lives to be. Cress has more to tell, and we have more to learn, like all the other immigrants living in Hillsborough and everywhere else. North Carolina, home to the fastest growing immigrant population in the South, has 600,000 immigrants, nearly 7% of its total population. The immigrant population grew threefold between 1990 and 2005, and its growth accounted for 27.5% of the population growth in that period. They have become an indispensable part of the North Carolinian economy, helping to keep the labor down by $1 billion annually. But often, they are isolated, at the periphery of society, always struggling to move ahead. It is an uphill battle for most of them, the task too challenging for many of them. It is hard being an immigrant in this country. Unfortunately, it's not an excuse that they can use when things don't work out. ESL class is in one place. The many women and men of Hillsborough come to make things better. The class is offered twice a week, provided by Durham Tech, free of all charge for all students. In Central Elementary School, they come to learn basic English that many of us have learned as children. In class, they also find comfort and companions with each other, going through the same struggles, some of them even from the same place. These three women met each other in Hillsborough, but they are all from the same region in Mexico. This day was Rosa's first day of class, and she was surprised to find that three of her classmates were from the same region in Mexico. They all started over thousands of miles away from where they lived, but they have found new friends and communities to live together. Sometimes, it looks like they are doing what the children they bring to class should be doing. While the kids are wondering what their mothers are doing, they are still eager as any child would be, following the teacher's command to move different parts of the body. Many of them have only had a few years of formal education, and here in America, they have found a new opportunity to go to school and learn. No speaking English does not make them free of other tasks. They bring their children along because they don't stop being mothers when they become students. Their kids don't leave them alone. The mothers have to take care of their kids while learning language. Jason, a bit older than other kids who have come to class, is always quiet. He's already fluent in English and is a little bit old to play with other kids. You can see his frustration, but knowing what his mother does every day for him, he waits patiently, without a word. They came so their children could have a better future, so they can pursue opportunities that they would not have otherwise. Their precious face makes everything worthwhile. When English becomes easier for the children, they hope they can be able to communicate with them. Still, an elementary school kid's chair seems too small for Rosa, who is holding her daughter. They get frustrated, and often they interrupt class to vent out their frustration with other students in Spanish. But they don't give up and do all they can to get there. They work for better jobs to improve English and adapt to their lives. Adela, another student in the class, got her citizenship after listening to the recordings of all the questions and answers to the interview that her teacher recorded for her. They all hope to graduate from this class one day. At the entrance of downtown Hillsborough, Banditos stands right across from the old courthouse. We thank the immigrant workers for their work setting the foundations of the city, but some thank most of them for burritos and quesadillas. Even as we eat, we often forget the hard work they do in the back. Amelia, who has been here for 2 years, works long days in the kitchen doing service for all of those who can enjoy his projects. Carlos from Mexico has been in the United States for 2 years but speaks almost no English. Many immigrants, when they first come to the US, only have a few options. Many start working long hours, and like Carlos, so many have to get up early in the morning working until late night surrounded by other immigrant workers. And it's easy to imagine them spending much of their time in an isolated world apart from the one we know. But life at home isn't much different from the ones that we know. 3 children run around while Socorro has to keep an eye on all of them while preparing for dinner. Socorro came from Mexico 2 years ago, and she is the head of the household as she left her husband in Mexico. In 2 years, the kids have learned a remarkable amount of English. Often this turns them into teachers for the mom. Socorro's questions of what they did in class soon turned into homework among kids to teach their mothers on basic grammar they covered in class. The family hopes to stay in the States. Elizabeth says She likes living in Hillsborough now. She watches Spanish channels on TV, but now is fluent in English, as she enjoys social science and likes the idea of staying here. While the most come to the US for their family, Olga from Ukraine is here to build on. Olga and Roger met 10 months ago in Ukraine and now are married in Hillsborough. They are quickly adjusting to their different cultures as Olga learns English from Roger as she gets used to her Ukrainian dishes. She faces different challenges. Also, she does not have to work. She struggles with loneliness without friends. She's also waiting to get her license so she can drive a car that's been sitting in the driveway for the past 9 months. Roger and Olga complain that the test isn't offered in Ukrainian, and that's one of her goals taking the ESL. Most immigrants in Hillsborough are Latin Americans. Every Sunday, the Holy Family Catholic Church offers a Spanish Mass, and hundreds gather. Once a week, everything seems normal, surrounded by familiar faces that they know. This is a community where immigrants can meet and friend to share their struggles and stories. It offers a place for new immigrants to seek advice and ask God for the rest, and the old ones to give back what they have learned through years of struggle. They have come a long way. The struggles continue, but they stand today in their families and communities, and they stand strong. I came to the United States from Korea when I was 13, almost 10 years ago. And like so many I've met and photographed this semester, I spoke no English, and I was away from my family because my parents stayed in Korea. Luckily, I had the privilege of becoming a student and not having to care for my family. Eventually, I learned my ways around, and now I stand as an American living the life that my parents had once dreamed for me. Many immigrants lack the opportunities I had, and many are virtually invisible to others, or at best, seen as foreigners. They still seek acceptance and true sense of being at home. But today, they are here in Hillsborough and everywhere else in America as proud Americans.